Okay, looks like we are live. Let me just double check. Checking for Instagram live. Okay, cool. I think we are on. Thank you so much, everybody. If you're joining me live, don't forget to chat hashtag live or comment hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. And I'm so grateful that you're here with me. This is Shrime. I'm the founder of C4 Ads, an online platform dedicated for uh, what you wonderful coaches and consultants who want to run their advertisements using three different platforms. That's Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, Google, or LinkedIn. So if you want to learn how to do it yourself, then definitely um, don't forget to check the link below this video or in the bio in Instagram. Coming back to the point of today's rendezvous, the reason why I'm meeting with you is because I saw a message from my mentor, my super mentor, and this morning, and it was about trust. And I quickly, I mean, the message was so beautiful. It made me flashback in my life, in my business especially, about building trust. Okay, how building trust is so crucial for our online coaching business. uh, I could realize it when I flashed back in my business life, okay, and also in my personal life. So I'll tell you one quick story, okay. There has been many, but I think this is the one which I could recall very quickly recently. But before I tell you the story, okay, and I tell you, this is not a Gyan session, okay. I just want to connect with you. So if you really want to connect with me, then please uh, chat with me, right, wherever you're watching. I would like to see if there are any comments from anywhere, right. Let me check if there are any comments in Facebook. I can't see it, but if there are any comments from YouTube, can't see it. If you're on Instagram, then let me check in Instagram if we are getting any comments. Okay, I think. Okay, yeah, okay, all right, cool. All right, fantastic. So thank you so much for commenting below this video, because that really matters, because this is more like a connect session with all of you online coaches and consultants, okay. So the story that I was talking about trust, which is the most important currency in our online coaching and consulting business, um, is a coach friend recently was just asking me about some gadget. Okay, he wanted to use it use some gadget like hardware, okay, in his coaching business. And because I had some experience of using the hardware, okay, I was chatting with him, and he told me that, how you doing? I said, I'm doing good. And I gave him some information about my coaching business. And then I asked him, like, how are you doing, by the way? And he told me that fate is testing me and destiny is testing me. Many things are going wrong when they should not. I'm doing everything that I can, but I am not able to figure out why things are not going according to what I had planned or what I was expecting, because I'm putting my best. And one by one, it seems like one after another, things are not falling into place. And of course, I was able to empathize with him, because I personally have gone through, as an online coach and consultant, I have personally gone through those days. I've personally seen days when you go completely blank and you don't know what else to do, when everything goes south, when you are giving your best, right. Everything tosses, even if you are doing the best for your, you're really working hard from morning 5 a.m. to night 12, in the midnight. You're toiling, but you're not getting, it's not showing up in your bank account. So I've gone through those days many, many, many times, and I'm not saying that those days are over. Thank you, Divya Jyoti, for joining in Instagram. Thank you, Sudhanshu and Suchanda, for joining in Instagram. Good to see your names. And if you're watching it live, type hashtag live and just share your love and comment and just drop a hi, right? So coming back to the story, yeah. So this coach friend actually, asked. He told me that these are some of the issues that were going on in his life, and I was able to empathize because I have definitely gone through so many days where things never go as planned, and even in your personal life it happens, right? But when you're putting your efforts from 5 a.m. to 12 in the night, and you're doing your best, giving all the sacrifices of your family, your friends, you try to do your best for your mission, for your movement. You want to give the best to the community, you're doing your best but you're not getting the best. So that is where the mismatch is, and you feel bad about it, right? And I definitely shared some pointers like how we can overcome that based on my story, and probably I'll have another live video some other day to talk about that. But the point here, what I wanted to establish, is that that coach friend was able to, he's not my excuse me, he's not my childhood friend, but he was able to confide into me. You see what I mean? Like, he was able to trust me to share his story. And because of that, I was able to help him out. Now, definitely he's a friend. Now, imagine that these things happen with your customers, right? Dr. Apeksha, good to have you here. Yes, good to have you here, Dr. Apeksha. Thank you, Farheen, for joining in. Good to have you here as well. And just drop a hi, write some comment in Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching. This is live streaming in all three platforms. Um, so what if these people are the people that you're talking to, they are your customers, and they are able to build that trust on you, okay? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a long term or a very personalized message, but they can, what if they are able to build trust on you looking at videos like these in social media, looking at your message, your market. You have a message for your market. What if they're able to build trust on you based on that message? All right, don't you think that your conversions will be better? Don't you think that you will get better quality people in your coaching business, in your online community? And don't you think that they will propagate that trust? They'll transfer that trust, that word of mouth, which is one of the, considered as still one of the best way of marketing. Don't you think that they will also propagate that trust to somebody else who might be in need of your help? The answer is, of course, yes. So how can we ensure that we are presenting ourselves in the most authentic way, so that people are able to build trust on us by spending just a few seconds or a few minutes online? Because that's the end game, that's the game you want to play. You know very well that trust is the biggest currency. um, Many people have trust issues, especially these days when there are so many scammers and spammers online. And they might be thinking, somewhere it's also been advertised, or probably, I mean, negatively advertised, or bad mouthed, that coaching and consulting is all bullshit, and There are so-called gurus and and very good people like influencers, politicians say that these online coaching and all that is bullshit, right? So when you are dealing with such kind of market, with such kind of psyche in the market, it becomes very difficult to build trust. So when we are talking about trust, we definitely want to portray our most authentic self, uh, wherever we are. We don't have to um, have a performance or a stage presence. Hi Satyam, good to have you here. I'm so glad that you keep joining my lives. A very big hi to you. So uh, what I was saying is that we need to have the most authentic self represented in our reels as compared to the reels. All right, you can see that most of the time people have a huge difference between their real life and their real life. We need to close that gap as much as possible. There is absolutely no harm in being vulnerable. So that's a key word that I would like to talk about. Okay, we gotta be more vulnerable in our approach. uh you know every time we conduct ourselves online. All right, let me see if I can pull up that word for you on screen. Okay, so this is the word which I wanted to share with you: being vulnerable. All right, vulnerability is one of the biggest quality that one can have, where there is no filter in especially admitting your mistakes. You're vulnerable, your weaknesses. It's all right to show your weaknesses. It's all right to talk about your weaknesses. It's all right to talk about your flaws, and what you don't know, you don't know. You can talk about that, right? You can be honest about it. So definitely, in your online presence, if you're an online coach, if you're not maintaining that vulnerability, that means people see through you. You know that people buy you before they buy your product or services as an online coach, right? So people see through you. They can literally figure out there's something, sixth sense, right? There's a vibe. They can read that. They can, I don't know, I mean it, I mean I know it because I know body language. So your voice modulation, your expression, your gestures, the way you are forming your sentences, everything is information which comes from your energy, and energy comes from intention. All right, so if your intention is to sell and never be vulnerable, never show I mean, putting a mask and just marketing and selling and marketing and selling, like, in big corporates, how they do it, you know, like in the food industry, like they say something in the packet, but actually what is inside is something different, not good for your health. You must have seen those stories. You must have read about those stories. So, and obviously news channels, and there are many such people in such roles where they talk about something but never keep up their promise, right? The actual product and the service is something different. So what happens is, majority of the coaches and consultants, they hype up things, they learn marketing and selling skills, they spend an awful amount of money to learn that. But unfortunately, the vulnerability which is at the core of honesty, admitting your mistakes, admitting your weaknesses, admitting that you don't know, your knowledge is limited and you're learning, admitting that you're still learning, these things are very rare to find. And when people see this vulnerability in you, the trust shoots up. So that's one thing which I was able to implement in my life. And trust me, I'm no superhero, right? And I'm no superhero. I was not very vulnerable in the initial days of my life. I was always trying to, uh, you know uh, only show one side of me, which is the marketing and selling side of me, but not the vulnerable side of me. But when I started doing that, you know, majority of the people started connecting with me. I was my name literally became synonym with connection, right? Because I was able to build connections with people, right? And because of connections, those connections became so emotional and so deep, so deep, that they lasted for they have been lasting for a long period of time. At any given point of, and that actually, because they were able to trust me as a person, they were able to have the belief that yes, this guy can get things done. Yeah, there will be some ups and downs because I'm vulnerable, right? I always uh, set the expectations correct. So that's another point that we all, right, need to take care of as coaches, uh, you know coaches and consultants, the true setting the correct expectations, right? Showing the correct results which you have achieved or your learners have achieved from your in your testimonials, instead of just doing something else, instead of posting fake testimonials or something like that. We can actually set the correct expectations, right? So when you set correct expectations, when you have vulnerability, when you know what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths. So because when I did that, people were able to connect with me quickly. They were able to see through me. The connections become long lasting, and because of that, my work became trustworthy. The trust was gained, and not only that, it reflected in my communication. In everything that I do, it reflects online, offline, wherever, whenever I give a I give a speech, or I give a gyan session, or I talk about something about my work where I want to teach people, I want to make them learn as a coach and consultant. It was visible, it reflected in my communication. The words I use, it's not fancy, it's all from my own personal experience, my life, right? So there's nothing fancy about it. There's no hype word, there's no FOMO that I create. It's very simple, straightforward. This is who I am, this is what I did, this is what you can do. Choice is yours. As simple as that. So that's how you build trust, right? Being authentic, your thoughts, your words. And this is one formula which has helped me throughout my life. And this comes from Buddhist concepts, right? Your thoughts, your words, and your actions, they need to align with each other, aka congruence. This is called congruence, right? This particular, when your thoughts are reflected in your words, and what is reflected in your words is reflected in your actions, you're congruent or authentic. There is alignment. Congruence means alignment in everything that you're doing. Alignment to what? Alignment to you as a person. So that is congruence. Correct. So the problem happens when these things are separate. Like, I'm thinking something, I'm saying something else, and in my actions there's something else, right? Example, your landing page has a bold claim, your ads has a bold claim, but actually when people get inside your community, they don't get that value from you from day one. Why? Because you are focused on building the currency for your bank account instead of building the currency of a person, which is trust. So with that message, I think you got the point. If you got the point, then type "got it" in the chat box. And I think this session was helpful to you. If it was, type helpful in the chat box. And that's it. I don't want to tell you anything else other than what I have already told right now. And I'm so glad that you were able to be patiently be with me, and share your comments and love. And I really want to thank Samir. I really want to thank the panelists. I want to thank Soumya Sanjeet. I want to thank Sandeep Rules. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. And that's the end of this session. I'll see you live in another um, video where I will share something about C4 ads. Good night. Take care. Shabak hai.